Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, you're listening to World Combat Sports. What is up? Hopefully, everyone is doing great. This is a different type of segment. As you all know, World Combat Sports report on boxing, mixed martial arts, grappling. I'm an enthusiast of all those, the trio of these combat sports in general. Real talk. I just can't invest my studies into one. Grappling is an amazing sport in itself, dealing strictly with submission game, point format, and grappling accountability. And this right here, what I had up here, if you look at the thumbnail, those are some of the best grapplers in the entire world, y'all. We're talking about ADCC champions. Ones that went to the IBJJF, EBI. I mean, they've been around. And, one face is missing in this group is Gilbert Burns because he has a title bout coming up against Kamaru Usman. And that's the depth for which I want to cover. This grappling game is essentially a web of truth. You always hear a web of lies. Submission game is a web of truth, y'all. It has so many twists and turns. And the only way that you get better at this particular grappling combat is that you remediate and remediate. You can't just practice by yourself. This is dependent. This is a codependent sport. You have to have a partner to allow you to practice on certain skill sets to further improve your game. And like I tell anybody, the ones that, I'm able to strike up a conversation with when it comes to this grappling, it has always been a difference between a BJJ black belt who trains in a gym and a BJJ black belt who competes. Different. It's different. I just want you to know that. But take a peek at this thumbnail right here. And I'm about to go over, a list of 8 fights. It's going down tomorrow, October 2nd, Austin, Texas. Believe me, I tried my damnedest. That's why I haven't been on here. I was trying my damnedest to be out there tomorrow. But due to their, their situation on how they have their protocol set up, I wasn't able to, but I really wanted to go meet some of my favorite grapplers that's out there. You know what I'm saying? Gordon Ryan is the man right now, pound for pound. I don't want to compare him to Canelo Alvarez because, in my opinion, what he's been able to do on the ADCC and the fact that he has individuals or opposition in his weight class that don't want to fight him. It's people on Canelo's weight class that want to fight him. They ain't trying to fight Gordon Ryan, man. He's a member of the John Danaher Death Squad, man. If you know about grappling with the Death Squad, it's just amazing backstory. I'm not going to get too much into it today, but a lot of people believe they only specialize in leg locks. You're talking about a guy who went to school for philosophy. The way he breaks down and express the analytics of grappling, his mental, physical perspective and how he visualized it playing out is just amazing. Just like when BJJ originally started, most people was basically trying to submit the arms because the arms are limbs that are weaker than the legs. Legs are stronger. You know what I'm saying? The arms are weaker limbs in general, comparable to the legs, right? So when BJJ hit the scene over here in the US, it's not like they weren't using the entire body over there, but arm locks, kimuras, arm bars, and just joint manipulation as a whole. In the art of BJJ, is easily accessible, when it comes to position control, you know, top or bottom position, guard pass. You go for the arms, you go for the wrists, elbows, everything, different type of grips. You go for the neck. But with the Danaher Death Squad, they decided to say, why use 50% of the body when you have 100? When you have 100% of the body. And he started basically practicing and mastering leg locks. Well, I'm gonna leave it out. I'm gonna leave it at that because I have to get into the actual competition, man. Man, you got Gabi Garcia, 4-time ADC NOGI champion, gold standard. Come on, she is bad. Look, she was able to qualify 16 for the ADCC. She's been actually competing in her black belt, from my understanding, for what, 12 years? That's crazy. This is absolutely crazy, man. Who else? You got Craig Jones in there. That's a beast, man. These are the creme de la creme. Roberto Jimenez, man. You got Tony Ramos. Out of all of them, Tony Ramos, in my opinion, he's a wrestler, a high-level wrestler who's currently teaching at the University of North Carolina. But it's almost like he's crossing over into the competition aspect of it. If I was to just say, okay, I'm looking at Tony Ramos and I'm saying comparable to the other grapplers that's going to be competing in this tournament, he will be the less experienced because he is a wrestler. Now, a wrestler will have their moments, but when it comes to the system for which grappling demands, of a person to actually have an outline, a physical outline, a mental outline on how they're going to go about to set their opponent up, I would think Tony Ramos will lack that from experience only. Experience, because he hasn't been in grappling that long. Okay, but I'm not going to take anything away from him. Who else you have up here? You have Nicky Ryan, man. Nicky Ryan, man. Believe it or not, he's one of my favorite cats, man, in the game, man. He's going to be competing at 170 pounds. Look, if Nicky Ryan, you ran across Nicky Ryan on the street, you'd be like, man, look at that geeky ass motherfucking down. Fuck that. Then you find yourself subbed out, sleep, goddamn looking silly with a broken elbow, a dislocated shoulder. Nicky Ryan is a beast, man. You know what I'm saying? He's growing continuously in the sport. And I really see him taking it to Tony Ramos, forcing him into areas of his grappling curriculum that he's never been taught or never experienced before. You know what I'm saying? As a wrestler. So yeah, shout out to Nicky Ryan, man. Salute. You have Natalie Haberio and Luisa Monteiro. They're going to contend at 135 pounds. Both of them a black belt. World champion NOGI. And that's a big deal. But Luisa, she's looking forward to possibly competing in the ADCC in 2021. The ADCC is a big fucking deal. Abu Dhabi Combat Club. The competition is a points format. Vice this particular competition, the WNO, it's going to be sub only, y'all. Sub freaking only. 15 minutes. And it's just like whoever subs the other one first. It's sub only. It's not points format. It's sub format. I like it because the whole energy is different. The entire freaking plan of attack difference when you're going for points and when you're going for a sub. You have to, still be aggressive, of course. But, the setup is different, obviously. With points, it's just certain points you can have with removing and applying hooks, sweeps, just certain things that in wrestling you get points for, just like you get in grappling. I just don't want to get too in depth about the points aspect of it, because this is a sub only. A sub only is self-explanatory. It's to the point. Yeah, Paulo Miyao against Gio Martinez. Man, I'm telling you, this is gonna be fire. Miyao is number 6, ranked number 6 against Gio 13. These two has fought before, and Miyao has defeated Gio Martinez before in a points grappling match. But anybody who fought in grappling know Gio is more so a sub only type guy. Like he loves the sub only no-gi fights. You know what I'm saying? But take nothing away from Paulo Miyao. He is a mother. And this will be contended at 145 pounds, 15 minutes. Miyao has 100 wins as a black belt, y'all. This dude is an absolute monster. 100 wins as a black belt. You know what I'm saying? He's defeated Martinez twice. He loves the freedom of grappling when it comes to especially submission only. He doesn't really care about if his points are or sub. Either way, he's going to get it in. He considered his style to work in any environment when it comes to the grappling. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's gi or no gi, or points or just subs, So that's going to be a damn good fight, man. And I'm going in order. Paulo Miyao versus Gio Martinez, man, where it really picks up for me. I like the Tony Ramos and Nicky Ryan, but I do believe that Nicky Ryan is going to be too much for Tony Ramos, who is a legitimate, respected wrestler who's training at the University of North Carolina. But when it comes down to this grappling game, it's much different. Shout out to Kano Local Sports, man. Salute. Then seeing you in the building, man. Salute to you. So fight number 5 is going to be Dante Leon versus Cody Steele. Cody Steele's a last minute replacement, man. Dante Leon is ranked 4th. This will be contended at 185 pounds. This is the fight I was talking about, that originally Dante Leon was scheduled to face Dorino, Gilbert Dorino Burns, man. He's the one who's made a splash in the UFC. He had a loss and then rebounded. If you didn't see, he went in there and absolute demolished Tyrone Woodley, which set him up for a fight with Kamaru Usman. But the fight he was supposed to have, he tested positive for COVID, so they canceled the fight. And that's when you seen the last minute replacement of Jorge Masvidal. So now, Gilbert Burns is set to come back and face Kamaru Usman. But if not for his championship title fight in the UFC, he would have been facing Dante Leon, which would have been an absolute beast. Gilbert Burns is a multi-time ADCC champion, man. It would have been absolutely a nice one. And Cody Steele is a last-minute replacement, so to speak. He's not a tyro to the grappling community. He's not. But for the level that Gilbert Burns possesses, vice Cody Steele, it's going to be different for Dante Leon. I see him going in here and subbing out Cody Steele. Seriously. I do see him going in there and subbing this guy out. Cody Steele is unranked. Okay. So I give the nod to Dante Leon, people. Absolutely. Dante mentioned that Gilbert Burns was a bigger fighter, more explosive. And then when it comes to Cody, he's a bit more agile, fluent. You know what I'm saying? So he was just kind of giving a slight breakdown of, what changes he will have to expect between Cody Steele, fighting Cody Steele now, vice Gilbert Burns, who he originally supposed to fight, but is currently training for that welterweight championship bout with Kamaru Usman. Next is my girl, Gabi Garcia, man. She's one of the females I definitely would like to interview. I tried to hit her up. She knows pretty decent English, but you know how it is, man. When it comes to these women, these female athletes, sometimes, it's hard to get in contact with them, but she is one of the GOATs when it comes to the female. She is a motherfucking beast. She is a 4-time ADCC champion. Like I said before, man, she's been black belt for quite some time. She's been competing as a black belt until the test of time. Like I said, she was she was able to qualify for the ADCC at only 16 years old. Her opponent, Elizabeth Clay, she says she's been eyeing Gabi Garcia for like 2 years. One thing you would know about Garcia, she's one of the heavier grapplers in the game. And this is a little bit why my mentality is different about, seeing grappling over here and, overseas, is that in grappling, you do have open weight. You do have opposition that's facing another grappler that outweighs them. I mean, I've seen some matches, man, that, it just leaves you puzzling how magical and beautiful the art can compensate the weight disparity between two fighters when it comes to grappling. When two fighters are, using a different form of art. Now you do have combat grappling where you're able to land palm strikes, but we're sticking to the script. This particular grappling right here, man, Gabi is one of the larger competitors. She is the number one creme de la creme when it comes to women grapplers. Elizabeth Clay, she's ranked number 3rd. She's looking to make her ADC debut 2021. I'm not sure she qualified yet, but you do have to qualify for the ADCC. You absolutely do. Garcia said, I didn't take her call out as disrespectful. That means basically she didn't take Elizabeth Clay calling her out as disrespectful. But in Clay's defense, she was saying, why not face the best? She outweighs me, but I want to face the best. So in open class, she's going to be outweighed by Gabi. But in grappling, a lot of that can be negated and changed and used to their advantage or disadvantage. You know what I'm saying? It's all about the skill level and the mindset of the individual who's applying their craft. You know what I'm saying? Who's setting up those traps. Experience has a lot to do with it, but also your mental blade has to be real sharp to be in the ground in the grappling environment. You know what I'm saying? To put yourself in the funk of jiu-jitsu, of grappling. That's just the way it is, man. It's a beautiful oasis, man, to watch. I'm gonna tell you, I'd rather watch it, to be honest, rather than train all those years like some people do and have all those broken bones and snapped arms. We're not talking about snapping a joint. We're talking about some of these arms snapping, the forearm snapping in half and shit that don't have a joint, fractures. You know what I'm saying? Have to wait, get an operation, wait till that heal up and then go back and see if it's okay. Hey, man, it's wild. But shout out to Gabi Garcia, man. Elizabeth, her name is Elizabeth Clay, ranked 3rd. She absolutely called out Gabi Garcia because she wanted to face her now rather than later. She wanted to challenge herself. She said the match has been on her mind for 2 years, like I mentioned. People want to fight regardless of the weight difference or belt difference. And what she mean by that is, Elizabeth is a brown belt. All right. Just for those who don't know the belt structure, I will keep it simple. All right. It's a white belt, blue belt, purple belt, brown, and black. There's certain time frames according to what professor is raising you in that belt structure that you receive the next belt. All right. Blue belts is where a lot of magic take place, where you learn a hell of a lot as a blue belt. It's a lot that you can fucking learn as a blue belt. And every school is different. The Gracie's belt system is different than, say, another school's belt system, because they have their own on anomaly on how they identify their students who are loyal to them and train at their school and so forth. So they're raised different, and other schools raise their fighters different in their belt system. But she's a brown belt, belt below black. But Gabi is a certified G when it comes to black belt. This chick is a certified monster. 4 times ADCC champion, y'all. I watch her fights, and it would be great if she had somebody her size to just, grapple with her or whatever. But still, I mean, I'm pretty sure she had some girls that had the size, but they didn't have the tools to get it done. They skill set when it came to grappling wasn't enough. So she's going to be fighting. She's the number 6 fight on the card, sub only, no gi. That means all fighters will wear a hash guard. All right. Fight number 7 is Craig Jones. He's ranked number 2, man, against Roberto Jimenez, ranked number 5. Both of these particular guys are attackers when it comes to their grappling game. They're trained together before, so they pretty much understand the scrambles and how one another moves. But of course, everyone's game plan is different when you come to a competition like this. Craig says, it's exciting to fight a fresh opponent rather than fight the same opponents, in his weight class. A lot of his opponents fight to survive and not be submitted. And that is one of the chips in grappling. Some of these individuals, just like boxing, some of these opponents, you want to go the distance and make it to the final bell. And then the same with grappling. Some of these guys just want to say they went in there and grapple, and the high level elite couldn't submit him. Yes, a little bit of bragging rights, but it does nothing for your resume as far as your mantle, your breastplate goes, your medals, you winning. If you lost to somebody that didn't submit you, it's still a loss, homie. So Craig say ideal victory is to dominate, of course. He was talking about Jimenez. He goes out for the finish. That excites him for this match, knowing that Roberto would absolutely bring the energy that he likes. And Roberto, on the other hand, said, I'm a fan of Craig's. You know what I'm saying? He believes submission is a real way to win. We have trained together. We have some familiarity, but when it comes down to fight night, it's all about who has the better game plan to go in there and get it done. And that's going to be a damn good fight. I'm talking about when we're getting past, all these fights are good to me. But for individuals who's just tuning in and saying, well, I want to see this particular person because I saw him on YouTube. I get it. But Paulo Miyao and Gio Martinez, beast of a fight. They're the number 4th fight. 5th is Dante Leon, Cody Steele. That's going to be okay, but I do see Dante Leon defeating Cody Steele. Just too much experience there with Leon. 6, Gabi Garcia, number 1, 4-time ADCC champion. She's going in there against, and Gabi is a black belt. Okay. Elizabeth Clay is a brown belt, ranked 3rd. She's looking to make her ADCC debut 2021. That's the number 6 fight. Number 7 is Craig Jones, ranked number 2, versus Roberto Jimenez, ranked number 5 in the 205-pound division. And from my understanding, man, Roberto Jimenez is like 20 years old. I think he's one of those guys who started out really young in the game, around 17. So this is going to be great for him to go in there and get that experience. Craig Jones is going to have his hands full with Jimenez. It's going to be a damn good fight, man. That's the number 7 fight on the card. And this card is, WNO, like I have up there at the thumbnail. WNO. You want to know what WNO means? It means who's number 1, y'all. Who's number 1? You know what I'm saying? Imagine that. Who's number 1? You have all the heavy hitters that's up here competing, and you want to know who's number 1. And of course, the main event, the headliner, lights, camera, action. For all the marbles, man, is the GOAT right now of this era. The man himself, pound for pound, number 1, Gordon Ryan of the Danaher Death Squad. 2-time gold ADCC champion. He's going in there against another ADCC champion of 2019, Matheus Diniz. This will be a 30-minute. This will be the only 30-minute bout on the card. The rest will be 15 minutes. If you know anything about Gordon Ryan, look him up. Dude talks trash, backs it up. He's a monster on the mat, a mat monster. He knows his grappling. He is far beyond a student. He is at a point right now, if Ryan wanted to stop competing, he can definitely, start opening up a school and teaching or whatever, if he actually want to stop competing. But he is one of the best in the world, people. And he was talking so much shit to his the guys that was in his class. He's basically saying, hey, y'all don't want to fight me. So I'm happy to be stepping in here against Matheus. You know what I'm saying? Number 1 against number 1. And Gordon Ryan has been out the game for a little bit in the past year because he couldn't get fights. But he is a 2-time gold ADC champion as his opponent, Matheus Diniz, number 1 ADCC champion 2019. They will be contending at 88 kilograms, and it's a 30-minute fight. Gordon Ryan said, I'm glad he's fighting me, because many say they want to fight me, but they don't. They don't never step up to the plate, man. I'm tired of that shit. They say they want to fight me online and all that, but there no fights are ever made. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying everybody is obsolete, that he doesn't have any opposition, but Gordon Ryan is a beast. Well respected when it comes to the craft of grappling. He says this about Matheus: he's relaxed, then explode into a match. My game is to deny movement. You know what I'm saying? His game is to try to create movement. If you understand and reading into that, Gordon Ryan's basically saying, I'm trying to deny any type of movement you have while I'm setting up what I have, while I'm making my craft and my submission game applicable. I want you to be restricted as possible, so you can't even think about how to counter, on how to reverse, on how to advance position, any of that. His biggest threat, Gordon Ryan saying this about Matheus, is his north-south strangle. North-south strangle is more so an alternative term for choke, or whatever. So that means both, his head would be at the head of Ryan or whoever's trying to, work for that north-south position. Ryan said it's positional and lineal. Matheus is positional and lineal pressure. And, he looked forward to the fight with Matheus. It's going to be a solid matchup. It's going to be the fight of the night. It's the headliner for a reason. It's 30 minutes, like I said, and the rest of the fights are 15 minutes. Real talk is going to be a beast, people. I love it. I wish I could have been there. You know what I'm saying? You can watch it on flowgrappling.com, FLOgrappling.com. It's not free. I'm just being honest with you. It's not free. So for those of you like myself who like boxing and mixed martial arts, if you want to, separate yourself and tune in to a grappling match, it's going to be absolutely inferno of heat. When it comes to that sport, this will be the one. Tomorrow, Friday, Austin, Texas, it's going down. Matheus Diniz said, I'm excited to face Gordon. He's like the best. I have to push myself. He fought guys with a lot of pressure. Gordon said that Matheus is one of those fighters who likes to create. You know what I'm saying? He likes to create movement, while Gordon said he likes to deny movement. Matheus say, be careful, one mistake and he can take it. I can't stop in front of him. He's calm. He's composed. It's a lot that was said, from Matheus in giving Gordon his flowers, so to speak, his plaudits, to say that the man is one of the calmest, composed grapplers. And a lot of fighters, look for reactions when they in these grappling matches. They look for any type of data that they can get back reactions from, any type of movement that they have going on, any type of submission attempt that may be happening. They look for panic. They look for composure. They look for, how long it's going to take to get that reaction from their opposition. Will they get it right away, or they won't get anything at all? Everybody is different. Traps are set sometime when you don't even lead. You allow some grapplers, in the grappling world, sometimes you can allow your opposition to set their own traps. And then as a grappler, you can set traps also, obviously. But sometimes you got cats that's so smart, they will allow a fighter to set their own traps. They will allow them to go for an arm in a certain position, and that's where they want them to be. It's a beautiful motherfucking nightmare, dog. Matheus said he's ready for everything, super excited. It would mean a lot to beat Gordon. He won the ADCC. I have mentality in open or any competition. I have no hate for him. And why he said that is that a lot of people was hitting him up on social media saying, go fuck Gordon Ryan up. We hate him. He talked too much shit. You look at his videos, Gordon Ryan do take it to him. You know what I'm saying? He does give them the tongue thrashing. He does say, fuck you. You want to do something, about it. Meet me on the mat. You know what I'm saying? Let's handle it that way. Let's go. But a lot of people believe he's very arrogant, pompous, bombastic, cantankerous, all those $5 words. You know what I'm saying? But I like it when it comes to combat. Seriously. I like the aspect of, being a little bit boisterous, but not over the top. If you not over the top, if you can't back it up. If you cannot back this shit up, especially when it comes to the grappling aspect, then shit, you're gonna find yourself going to sleep too many times, man. Seriously. you're gonna find yourself in a bad situation. And he said he planned on ADCC for next year, for sure. And that was from Matheus Diniz versus Gordon Ryan. That would be the headliner on this 8-fight card in Austin, Texas tomorrow. Fights 1 through 7, I will go through again. You have Jason Raul against William Tack at 190 pounds. The second fight is Tony Ramos versus Nikki Ryan. Third fight is Luisa Montero against Natalie Haberio. Number 4 is Paulo Miyao versus Gio Martinez. Fifth fight, Dante Leon against Cody Steele. 6 is Gabi Garcia against Elizabeth Clay. 7th fight is going to be Craig Jones versus Roberto Jimenez. And then the 8th and final fight, no gi for everyone who I just mentioned, for every fight that I just mentioned, no gi. Gi is much more different grappling than no gi. Seriously, you have a hash guard and you get it in. Number 8 is Gordon Ryan, number 1, versus Matheus Diniz, who's also ranked number 1. Both of these guys are ADCC champions. You know, Gordon Ryan is a 2-time gold standard, and Matheus Diniz is he won in 2019. This will be the only fight on the card contended with a 30-minute bracket. What I have to say, people, let me put this thumbnail back up there just so you can see or whatever. Those are the faces, the one to the top left and right. Look, as you're looking at the one to the top left is Gordon Ryan, okay? And the one to the right is Matheus Diniz. They will be the headliner. And then, the next one below Gordon Ryan is Roberto Jimenez. He's going against the one directly to our right, and that would be Craig Jones. Now, right next to Craig Jones on the right-hand side, the female, that's like an older picture of her. She's a big female, but she's in shape big time. She got mad abs, all that shit. But that's that's the one I was talking about, Gabi Garcia, man. She's a 4-time ADCC world champion, man, gold standard. The other female she's facing is Elizabeth Clay, that's to the left, directly in front of him. And of course, in front of her, you have Gio Martinez, for those of you that follow. And it's hard to even keep going on because I've kind of cut off some of the faces on here. But yeah, that's who they are, man. It's going to be a good grappling bout, man. Real talk. D Hodges in the building. Salute to you. But I truly had to get on here and, talk it up. I know there's many, if not in the community of BJJ or grappling, is not of interest. I get it. I totally understand. I'm not no way disappointed. But, my stance on this is it's just not an area of study that I will give up in my lifetime just to study boxing, just to study mixed martial arts. You know what I'm saying? I would rather, learn about many than just one. You know what I'm saying? Everybody have their own preference. I salute them for that. And I know people are not going to tune into talking about grappling because they feel it's boring and seeing two people on top of each other trying to work out submission and trying to grind it out and chest to chest contact, framing, demarcation lines, point of contacts, wrist control, hand fighting, all these multiple grips, working for a better position, following the systems that goes along with grappling. You know what I'm saying? Guard, close, open. I don't know. And there's just so much that goes into this aspect that may not pique the interest of the viewers, but for me, yeah, it does. But be sure to check this fight card out. Ocho. It's going down tomorrow night, man. It's going down tomorrow, Austin, Texas. So if you are in the area and you want to check out one of the most stacked rosters of some of the best elite grapplers in the world, NOGI, this would be the place to do it. If you're not in the area, shit, go purchase it, and believe me, you won't be disappointed. If you choose to, trying to enhance your comeback education just a little bit more than just watching the same sport, cool. This is something that you really can't learn in mixed martial arts, because not every MMA fight goes to the ground where you see, grapplers like Charles Oliveira, Bryce Mitchell, Damian Maya. You have some new upcoming Gilbert Burns, Herbert Burns. You have some grapplers that's in there. But in mixed martial arts, a lot of the time the fight doesn't go down to the ground where it's just BJJ orientated. It's a BJJ orientation for the fans. No, it's not that when you're getting punched and elbowed in the face. But sub only is straight up submission. That wins the bout. All right. So hopefully everyone enjoyed it. D Hodges was in the building. Kano Local Sports. Be sure that you subscribe to Kano Local Sports. Check him out. He says, okay, he's saying he tried your channel out. Hey, be sure to check his channel out, man. Kano Local Sports. Tune in. He have a lot of Hispanic fighters that's in the sport active right now, male and female, who he interviews. Truly appreciate you linking me up with some fighters there, Kano. Thank you for the teamwork, the connect, real talk. Look forward to continue to working with you, man. And appreciate all you do. Shout out to Jacko Fitness, man. Linking me up with your, their fighter that's over there. Real talk. I mean, I like the network and everything that's going on. In closing, I would say this. I was talking to a couple of people about the live I did the other day about Gervonta Davis and Leo Santa Cruz, right? And my perspective on it, I wasn't placing the impression out there that mixed martial arts is taking over boxing. My point was that it is influencing certain aspects when it comes to time slots. And as long as boxing has been in the game, it should not be in a predicament where the UFC is influencing time slots. So much to the fact that you have to relocate or absquatulate a freaking fight card to a different date. So now Leo Santa Cruz and Tank Davis has moved to the 31st. And I'm saying to myself, why? And a lot of people are saying, they're going to be practicing on the live gate. Okay, if you're going to be practicing on the live gate, cool. Salute to you. You know what I'm saying? Salute to having a certain amount of capacity enter the arena, and you get those minuscule proceeds you're going to get from a live gate. Unless they opening up the whole entire arena, max capacity, no social distancing. How is a fighter going to benefit wholeheartedly from that freaking live gate? But in my opinion, it's a start. I salute them. But I truly don't think that's why they moved all of a sudden to say, hey, we're going to try a live gate. This is what we're going to do. I'm glad you're getting back to a live gate. But it would have been hard. I would have been on here standing all the way up to the fight. No way Leo Santa Cruz and Gervonta Davis, who Floyd Mayweather is not trying to fail. to an organization where he has a history with Dana White, but he's one of the biggest money makers the sport's ever seen. Period. In professional sports, period. So he's not trying to have his cash cow lose out and going in there PPV wise against Justin Gaethje and Khabib. It wouldn't have worked, people. I'm being absolutely honest with you. Yeah, it's two different levels of championship. Yeah, you have Gervonta, 2-division champ. Yeah, you have a lot of hype riding behind them. Yeah, there's a different amateur between both of Justin Gaethje and Khabib comparable to Leo Santa Cruz and Gervonta. Two different sports. But understand me where I'm coming from with this, right? Khabib is undefeated. Different way than Gervonta's undefeated. Different community of how boxing treats their undefeated and how someone like Khabib the Nurmagomedov, who's from a different country, Russia, on him being 28-0, he's not a knockout artist like Gervonta Davis. Gervonta has the hands. He basically has power in both hands, and he can box his ass off. You know, his nickname and alias is the Tank. So people look to come see him fight. They're looking for a freaking knockout, period. But when it comes to the Khabib, his asset is closing distance, going in for the takedown, level changes at any given moment, and to basically brutalize his opposition into submission. If he's unable to get them to verbally tap, he will sub them out. However, whatever presents itself. But for Khabib, he hasn't been in a position where we've seen him on his back. He's been in trouble. He's been the one that was pushing the pace, always working from top position. That's going to be something Justin Gaethje is going to have to fix. Justin Gaethje is going to have to fix that. He's going to have to put himself in a better position before they even hit the ground. He's going to have strict timing on his takedown defense, so he won't spend the first 2 rounds when Khabib is at his fastest, trying to posture up, frame, work on his bases, make it back to his feet. And then, all the energy he's used to get back to his feet, he's going to have to stay on his feet. He's going to have to ensure that Khabib doesn't take him back down to the mat. It's a lot of other areas. It's a lot more variables that's playing into this fight, potentially competing heavy with Leo Santa Cruz and Gervonta. Heavy. A lot of people that may not want to admit to it, that follow boxing, they are looking and tuning in to mixed martial arts behind your back. They are tuning in to mixed martial arts behind the back, because if you take a 4-rounder, you got to understand one thing. The minimal fights you're having in mixed martial arts right now is 3 rounds, 5 minutes apiece. Right? So there's no particular fights in mixed martial arts that's going to be 3 rounds, 3 minutes apiece to say, oh, so-and-so is just starting out. In boxing, the 4-rounders are the guys who just starting off trying to build their record. They're starting off with 4, they go to 6, then they go to 8-rounders. They're considered a little bit of the novice class. Even though they're fighting professional, they're still building up their opposition. But in mixed martial arts, a 3-rounder is format, standard. And co-main and mains are 5 rounds, 5 minutes apiece. Now that's just short of the next round set, but you can't take it with the numbers as far as they only fight 5 rounds by a boxer, but you have to look at the minutes they're fighting. 5 minutes per round, people, vice 3 minutes per round. It adds up. It's a lot that you have to do within those 5 minutes to save your ass and basically apply an offensive strategy that works effectively to disrupt the rhythm and go in there and dominate your opponent the best way you know how to earn that victory. Whether it's on points, whether it's on knockout, submission, referee stoppage, however you see fit. I'm telling you, this fight with Khabib and Gaethje would absolutely give Leo and Tank Davis energy that they don't need. And for them to move that fight to a different date, cool. That gives Tank Davis more time to lose that weight. So there'll be absolutely no excuses. This benefits Tank Davis. Look, this benefits him a whole hell of a lot. And from what I understand, from my understanding, the camp that he's been in, he's been basically, staying on track, focused, dialed in, keeping close, staying away from the distractions, and ensuring that whatever stipulation the team Santa Cruz has in that contract, it doesn't affect Tank Davis when it comes down to balancing the scales. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think it was good for them to move that fight away from Justin Gaethje and Khabib Nurmagomedov lightweight championship, 155 pounds. It was smart of them to do that because, believe me, they would have suffered dearly. I know a lot of hardcore primary boxing heads don't want to hear that, but Justin Gaethje and Khabib Nurmagomedov would have absolutely contaminated the viewership of Leo Santa Cruz and Gervonta Davis. I don't even have to put facts on the end of it because it's no way we're going to be able to know that since they freaking moved the date. But I'm telling you, it would have happened. The momentum that these two guys have going into this fight. Come on, man. Khabib up there subbing out Conor McGregor, then subbing out Dustin Poirier damn near with the same submission. Justin Gaethje on a win streak, coming off a blistering pace of one of the best interim fights you would see in the lightweight division against Tony Ferguson. He earned a freaking TKO stoppage, man, in the 4th round. The fight was what you call is beyond fireworks. This was hand-to-hand demolition. And the demolition, the pins was flying out the grenades from Justin Gaethje. Tony Ferguson attempted to stay in the storm and to fight through it. But Justin Gaethje stayed consistent. He didn't get reckless. Man, his distance gauging was impeccable that night. Timing was A1, dog. Justin Gaethje's timing was A1 with the counter shots. So where we at right now? Where we at? We got Teofimo Lopez for City Lomachenko, which I'm liking more and more as this fight comes close. I really want Teofimo Lopez to go in there and send Lomachenko first class to the land of Nod. You know what I'm saying? I want him to do that. And the earlier, the better. I want Teofimo Lopez to go in there and give Lomachenko a different boxing authority that he's used to, one that he cannot sit up there and believe that he's a professor of. I want him to learn something new that, all those amateur fights and the gold medal standards ×2 that he's earned, this will indeed be his best competition in Teofimo Lopez, the current IBF lightweight champion. a lot about seeing this fight. I believe Teofimo can go in there and stop Vasily Lomachenko. All the freaking maneuvering and slipping and sliding and all this shit is over for Lomachenko. It's over. So I'm really hoping that he goes in there and gets the job done, because if it's one person that I've heard talk, is Lopez Sr. And he's basically, all that shit he was talking came to fruition. The man understands. He truly believes. Him and Teofimo believe in one another, man. He believes in his son. You know, people just like Danny Garcia's dad, they always want to be quick to vilify him. You know what I'm saying? They just want to say, oh, they just being, you know, boisterous, braggadocious individuals talking shit all the time, but none of it come true. It came true, you know. He said his son was going to be champion in 15 fights, man. It's done. Now, if Teofimo goes in here, you know, when he goes in here and freaking defeats Vasily Lomachenko, he moves up. If they choose not to face Devin Haney, that fight will be a good fight. Seriously. Teofimo will be on such an entire different cloud of boxing. It would be fucking amazing. Like you would never even imagine how people are going to start gravitating to Teo if he's able to unify the lightweight division. So he has the options. From my understanding, he's going to be placed as the WBC mandatory for Jose Ramirez, which in my opinion is a bigger fight than Devin Haney. The reason why it's a bigger fight than Devin Haney, it allows him to go up and fight for a unified title at another division, which is junior welterweight, a fresh division for Teofimo Lopez, y'all. They're making these, how you put it, they're bookmarking these pages as Teofimo continues to write these chapters in his boxing career. It's no like, I don't really know what's happening. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's next for us and this and that. No, they're bookmarking shit. Bookmarks. They're writing chapters and they're folding the pages back and making it so easy for you just to go to that area and say, okay, this is where we at right now. This is what I want to talk about right now. This is the junior welterweight division. And right now, shit, this page says right here that Teofimo Lopez is, you know, will be the mandatory for Jose Ramirez, blah, blah, blah. If I ain't never read anything that made sense to me, that shit makes sense. It's better than turning to a page and it's nothing on there. You don't see any content in there with your name in it. It's just like when you crack open a boxing magazine and you're looking for certain names in there. Who's that? You know, okay, all right. What's my name? I know they got to have me in here. I'm one of the top in this division. And you don't find your name in there. But if you leaving on a high, you leaving the lightweight division on a high, yeah, it's 2 decisions. It's court. It's all about the money. You know what I'm saying? It's all about the fucking money. So depending on how the money is, he stay down there in lightweight, fight Devin Haney, or he move the fuck up and make even more money fighting Jose Ramirez for the unified title. It'll be beast mode, dog. He will be the only one doing it like that, unifying one division and then moving up to unify another division. ASAP. ASAP. That's all I'm saying. That shit will be gangster, dog. And it will only highlight his career that much more as he move up the chain. Like if Teofimo was able to run this gauntlet successfully, Once he gets to 47, I can't imagine what his price tag is going to be like. If Teofimo Lopez is able to unify the entire division at 40, his price tag is going to be so freaking sick when he get to 47 if he does it the right way. I don't know how he's going to do it. I don't know if it's going to be any larger than Canelo Alvarez. But I'll tell you like this. I don't think he can make that Money Mayweather unless they're not with Top Rank, to be honest. I don't think he can do those numbers Money Mayweather was able to complete with Top Rank. I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm just keeping it real. Right now, you know, these tulips has blossomed. The fragrance is there. Everything the ambience is unfucking believable. If he comes off this fight with Vasily Lomachenko with the victory. And then it's whatever else happens next, y'all. He has it all in his hands. Period. It's all in T.O.'s hands. So we'll see how that shit works out. Gervonta Davis need to go in here and go ahead and polish off Leo Santa Cruz with a left right. You know, take out the shovel and hook that, hook to the body, man. Go ahead and get him up out of here so you can get bigger and better fights at 35. Period. As for Devin Haney fighting Gamboa, I look forward to seeing that fight. But some of the people that I talk to and people who have, in other boxing groups and just the conversation, you need to really be taking in consideration of those of us who played sports and had similar injuries that took forever to heal. I'm curious to know if Gamboa is at 100%. Stepping back in the ring less than a year from a ruptured Achilles. Achilles is one of those. The Achilles tendon is just unfucking believable. We need it, especially for explosion, for walking, all that. That shit has ruined the careers of people, y'all. Then Kevin Durant had a Achilles problem. Did you see Kevin Durant coming immediately back? Yeah, he did have it. He had like a slightly ruptured one, didn't he? And then he tried to come back in there and he thought somebody had kicked him in the calf because that shit popped. Done. You can get surgery, but it's never the same. It's never the same, homeboy. Believe that. Believe that. I don't know if y'all remember me on live saying that they was going to try their damnness to get Mikey Garcia a 5th division title. If you didn't follow me closely, you might not. But it's no cap. It's on my lives on YouTube. When I sat there and said that Mikey Garcia would get a title shot. They're just maneuvering him through, and they're going to pick the right person for Mikey to get not only a title shot, but whoever fights Mikey, that's going to be another paycheck for Mikey right there too, because Mikey is on his way out the door. He doesn't have longevity on his side. But I do like Mikey Garcia, the fact that he was able to sacrifice a couple of years out the sport and go through the litigation process to free himself from that contractual bond that he had via Top Rank, and then to return and to make these type of moves and what he's doing. Now, forget the Jesse Vargas. We're talking about him potentially fighting Manny Pacquiao, 62-7. Mikey Garcia, man, he has one loss only to Errol Spence, considerably one of the pound for pound greats right now. You know what I'm saying? So it's working out for Mikey Garcia because He's in a position right now that a lot of fighters at his stage in his career should be in. They should be making decisions, the right decisions, and the value of their name is still bringing in the dollars. And that's what's going on with Mikey Garcia. He's trying to make the most money possible on his way out the door. And he's did it superbly. He's did it superbly. He defeated Robert Easter. You know, he talked about, you know, going out there, moving up. He defeated Sergey Lipinets, vacated, went up there and started talking the same thing. Like, you know, I was trying to tell some individuals, I say, don't be mad at what Gary Russell's doing. Admire the fact that he's willing. He has the courage to take that risk to even verbalize it. Say, I want to challenge myself to move up that many divisions. Mikey Garcia goes up there and fight the champion and lose. And don't nobody say too much or nothing. Adrian Broner goes from 35 up to 47 and fight Malignaggi. What they say? Well, Paulo Malignaggi, he didn't really have any punching power. That's Malignaggi. He has a big mouth, but he has no punching power. But the fact that Adrian Broner was able to do it, Roy Jones, 54 all the way up to heavyweight. What about Roberto Duran? Ain't nobody criticizing him. He skipped 40. He went from 35, skipped 40, got down 47. Why aren't people talking about that? I think Sugar Ray Robinson fought Joey Maxim, a light heavyweight fighter. And he lost. Everybody who followed the game knows how he lost. He was challenging himself. He couldn't do shit about the heat. Charlo brothers. For their PPV numbers, it did okay. The night itself, in my opinion, was very entertaining on both fights. I have to give the Charlos that. Jermell Charlo stepped up and he closed out on one of the biggest fights of his career. That's what you're supposed to. Whether you like him or not, you can't like him, you can't dislike him for talking trash. You know what I'm saying? If they want to show you what rise they got and how they live, and so be it. It's them that's doing it, not you. But in the ring, they're golden right now. They still have relevancy. But my only thing with the Charlo brothers, they're going to have to do more, man. They're going to have to be more approachable in life. They're getting paid. And one thing about the Charlos, they feel Al Heyman doing them right. So really, you know, don't complain about not being these superstars in the sport of boxing because of the way or the absence too many times that we don't get a chance to even know what the Charlos are doing in between fights. It's okay for us to see how you're living. I feel you, bro. You earned that shit. Blood, sweat, and tears, man. Punch for punch, round for round. You earned that shit. But it would be great for you to kind of link up with the fans a little bit more. Even when there weren't any COVID, it wasn't a lot of motherfuckers to say they was, you know, chatting it up with the Charlo brothers. And they may feel cool about that. Not every fighter is willing, you know, to give themselves. I wasn't that way in the military. I'll be honest. I wasn't that way. But I wasn't like that because I was standoffish. I was like that because, you know, what I had to endure growing up. And I just felt, you know, that's the way I should be. When I got on my own, I felt comfortable that way. And that's what it was. That's for another day. Anyway, you know, Jamal Charlo went in there and defeated Sergey Derevyanchenko. Very tough fight to the final bell. I have to take my hat off to both guys, man. Feather in the cap. I respect Sergey Derevyanchenko. I respect Jamal Charlo for being the champion. and performing like one. I did learn a lot. I took some a different perspective from people. I thought he took too much punishment to be a champion. I just, my competitiveness is much more demanding of some that may, when I was going up competing. It's just, I can work out with no damn music. I can get up and go running 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't need nobody with me to run. I'm still gonna get the same intensity. If someone pull up, it's cool. We good. But I just really always had to drive to go do shit and stay a certain way in some type of physical condition on my own. Self-motivation is a fuel that burns in some, but not many. Some people need a group. That's all I'm saying, people. I mean, that's all I'm saying with that shit. It was funny to hear that Eddie Hearn tested positive for COVID-19. I wonder, did it test positive around his lips so he can stop talking so much and not freaking owning up to all that shit he was talking, just making it come to fruition, having some truth and some merit. You know what I'm saying? He tested positive for COVID-19, but hope he gets better though, man. He had to leave the bubble. Who else I want to talk about? Yeah, man, I heard that Aaron come out about the Wilder fight again. Wilder Fury fight. People, this fight, the magnitude of this fight, the suspense and the weight that it holds on boxing right now. Is that a paramount? It's at a paramount, y'all. This fight means so much to so many people. That it has to be in an area where live gate is equitable, man. Live gate has to have some type of revenue influence to this fight because it's that huge. And among other security principles that need to be in place, you know what I'm saying? We want to make sure the safety of both fighters. But this fight, Wilder and Fury, it may not happen on the date that we thought it would happen in December. So now it may move somewhere else, man. So we really don't know who's going to fight who. But Fury keeps putting out here he's going to fight somebody in 2020, either Wilder or someone else. I'm going to take it that he totally understands how to read and he fully grasps the contractual stipulation that says he has an opponent already. Yeah, you can say all you want. So what I mentioned early in a different live, Frank Warren mentioned that you remember what I told you about Josh Taylor saying he hopes his countryman Jake Catterall, get a chance to face Jose Ramirez. Well, Frank Warren is saying that Jose Ramirez is he must face Catterall, a UK fighter. So that's going to be a good fight to just clear all the space, open all the calendar dates, and leave nothing unturned. Jose Ramirez fight Catterall, and then we'll probably get a unification bout for all the marbles, I hope. Hopefully that's how it works out. I don't fucking know. But to be this close between Ramirez and Josh Taylor, not to fight for unification, would be a travesty to the sport of boxing. So we need to make this happen. Ronnie Shields has made it clear that Jamal Charlo will fight Canelo at 68, 75 whenever he wants. I like that language. I love that language. All we need now is, for it to be official or for any type of traction to be placed. Are we pressing the gas and talking about this as if it's going to move forward. Is it going to be at the stoplight, or is running intersections all the way up to 68? Because that'll be a good weight division up for Marcelo coming from 60 to 68. For him to run intersections and goddamn, pull up, have some table talks and try to make this fight happen with Canelo Alvarez. But Marcelo has to stay on the gas because Canelo is all over the place. He's all, Canelo's on the gas, and Maul is on the gas, and Canelo is freaking twisting and turning in between side streets, running through backyards, hopping off roofs, climbing trees, darting under cars. Shit, Canelo trying to duck anything popping. That's a tough fight for him. Hiding in bird coops, all that shit. That's Canelo. So if she'll say we'll fight him at 68, 75, I'd rather him get that 68. Seriously, I'd rather him fight at 68 since it's the division up. But once again, when it comes to 68, 75, my mentality is a bit different when it comes to a fighter challenging themselves. It is. It's a bit different when it comes to weight. Lomachenko has also said that, Teofimo talks too much. If you assault me, prepare for pain. Okay, bring the pain then, Lomachenko. You know what I'm saying? I hope he gives you that same closing, those closing comments like his glove gave to Richard Comey. And Richard Comey is my boy, man. I like Richard Comey. Cool dude. I hope he gives you those closing arguments. For real. Pop, 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 pop. And you hear a lot of other, talk going on between Pacquiao fight McGregor. No. Mike Garcia, Pacquiao fight me first 100%. I really don't want to see, I don't want to see Pacquiao fight McGregor. But I will tell you this. I would definitely like to see McGregor Mayweather 2 in a different circumstances. Why? Because Pacquiao is not the kind of guy that can sell people to come and see what he's going to do to Mayweather. It just doesn't have that pizzazz to it, that sting, that you know what I'm saying, that shang. You know what I'm saying? It just don't give you that It got you that shit to just say, man, this shit, okay, cool, this shit gonna be hot. It make you be talking goddamn tongues, man. What you talking about? God damn, I'm sounding like Bernie, man. This motherfucker. It don't get that way with Pacquiao and McGregor to me. But Floyd Mayweather, he has the machismo to face McGregor again and do decent numbers. Now, the question has arose, will he fight Khabib Nurmagomedov? Now, I would like to see that. But, once again, Khabib's boxing sucks, in my opinion. He has an overhand right that dropped Conor McGregor, but that was to be expected. You know what I'm saying? But for him to go in there with Floyd Mayweather, Floyd will have to goddamn go to the department store and pick up some more Gucci luggage, some Louis Vuitton luggage, because he's definitely going to have to carry Khabib Nurmagomedov to the round that he's going to knock him out too. He'd be like, hey, Khabib, I just want to let you know about this suitcase. I'm going to carry you with this suitcase to the first and the third round. Then the fourth, I'm going to bring this suitcase right here. This is going to be the one that has, a little bit of hooks to the body, uppercuts and so forth. Not too much. I'm going to still stay on the jab just a little bit. So, in the fifth, sixth, and seventh, this in the bigger suitcase, it's going to be a lot more moving around and everything. I'm not going to be on the ropes as much as I was in the early rounds. That was just to get you warmed up and everything so you can get a little body shots on me. But when we get to these 6, 7, and 8 rounds, it's going to be a lot of movement. And I'm gonna be testing, your mobility and how you're gonna handle that. And you can't throw no kicks or level change in this. So expect the room get dark quick. I'm just being honest with you, Khabib. The expect the room to get dark. What do you mean about dark, my brother? I'm just saying the punches are gonna come a little bit more frequently heading into that 8th round. And you won't be going past the 9th, and I'm not taking you into the 10th, okay? Because I did that with Connor, and you have people up here believing that he was going to defeat me or he was here to give me my first L. For you, I'm going to shut you down just a little bit early, you know what I'm saying? Because I got different arrangements for the after party, plus I'm not playing with y'all motherfuckers, okay? So expect the 6th, 7th, and 8th round to be different, and then we're going to bring out the duffel bag. And that's what you're gonna get toted up out of here. Because when we bring out the duffel bag, shit gonna get real nasty quick. You know what I'm saying? The shit we carry around in the duffel bag in the streets, no, it ain't gonna be good for you, Khabib. So get ready around the 9th round. It's no more. All right. Okay, my brother, I understand. I thank you for allowing me to grace the square with you, my brother. But I still try to smash you, my brother. Okay? You are the best, UTBE. But I am the eagle. I am KHBIB, Khabib. But that's all I have for the boxing, y'all. I don't want to talk about Chisora. I like Derek Chisora, but I don't want him flipping no tables over here and shit. And I don't want to talk about him so far, up to what his next fight's going to be like until it comes up. Shout out to Charles Conwell, man. He's stepping in there with Wendy Toussaint. Both of these fights are undefeated. Charles, 12 victory, nine knockouts. I appreciate you stopping through yesterday. In courtesy of Connor Local Sports, man. Good guy. He has a lot of positive influence and support system up there, Soul City Boxing. They're doing it the right way, man. I wish I would have had a little bit more of that growing up as a young black man out the city. But a lot of taking care of kids and just knowing how to talk in front of the camera, knowing how to articulate yourself in conversation against another adult is very important, especially as a fighter. You can come from the hood, but when you speak in front of the camera, you can still speak in a way where you're not sounding like, Mr. Rogers. You know what I'm saying? Brian Gumble. But I'm not knocking that, because we should all know how to speak certain ways if we're on that platform. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to go ahead and use a grandiloquence of words just to sound good, but it's fun to actually expand your vocabulary just so you can have them in your cachet, just so you can have them at any given time, whether you want to use them. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't mean you have to do it purposely, but from what I'm hearing up at Soul City Boxing, man, they're preparing these young warriors to know how to interview, giving them practice. They're maximizing by building up these small little areas of education to when they start winning these titles, they'll know how to speak, and the fans, gravitate to them and say, man, hell yeah, we appreciate that. Isaiah Steen, Charles Conwell, Haven Bradley, we appreciate that. O'Shea Jones, OJ3, we appreciate that. We appreciate what y'all got going up there. You know what I'm saying? And it starts once they start getting in front of the camera on the post fight. This COVID is not going to have 8 feet between you for the longest of time. What else before I close this out, shawty? Jose Cepeda and Ivan Baranchyk is on the horizon, big time. Coming up real soon. Be on the lookout for Cepeda and Baranchyk. But they will fight this Saturday, 10-rounder at the MGM Conference Center, ESPN, the 7:30. In the co-feature, lightweight sensation Gabriel Flores Jr. will take on Ryan the Polish Prince Kowalski in a 10-rounder. And I might have absolutely screwed that name up, but you will be okay. Drink some hot tea and be fine. But yeah, that is taking off this. Yeah, that's taking off this weekend. But be sure, y'all, in closing, to check out the Flow Grappling that's going down tomorrow night, Austin, Texas, y'all. It's going to be a banger. It's going to be a banger, people. It's going to be an absolute banger. And that's why I kept that up there. You know, it's going to be October 2nd, 8 o'clock p.m., Austin, Texas. You got the heavy hitters, you know, Gordon Ryan, Roberto, Jimenez, Martinez, Gabi Garcia, Craig Jones, Matheus Diniz against Gordon Ryan, Gabi Garcia against Elizabeth Clay, Dante Leon against Cody Steele, Paulo Miyao against Martinez. And this is no gi. This is RASHGUARD only. Tony Ramos against Nicky Ryan. That's going to be a hell of a fight. Jason Raw against William Tackett. You have 8 fights, people. 15 fights 1 through 7 of 15 minutes apiece. And the main event, of course, Gordon Ryan versus Matheus Diniz will be ADCC champion versus ADCC champion. 30-minute sub only. It's going to be some education on there, so be sure to check that out. But until then, y'all turn up and tune in, man. It's been a pleasure. I know it wasn't the most interesting for those who might have tuned in, but I did give you a little sprinkle and hors d'oeuvres of boxing. Okay, salute to you, and be sure to check me out next time. World Combat Sports Media.